More about testing teachers, what schools are going to look like for students in the Liverpool School District. We want to welcome back District Superintendent Mark Potter. Mark, good evening. Thanks for being here.
Oh, thanks for the invite.
All right, we know you've got a public hearing getting underway in about an hour and that you are planning a hybrid model right now to begin the school year. You've had some discussions with your teachers about starting the school year remotely. Is that an option that you're still considering?
Well, obviously, you just mentioned Janesville DeWitt has pushed their start date back from the week of the 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th into the 14th. Part of our decision really moving our school year start for students was to provide some reassurances to our staff that we have a significant amount of technology that we're imparting on them, because we're really looking, as you mentioned, at this hybrid model where a portion of our kids will be in person and another portion of our kids will be home. We're looking at, or we're really assuming or expecting that our teachers are going to be able to simultaneously teach both groups of kids, although not necessarily synchronous for the entire time periods.
All right, let's move on to another subject, testing. Liverpool is set to test teachers and staff September 10th. Students and staff getting another chance for a test September 11th at NBT Bank Stadium. How do you think this is going to help teachers feel safe as they start the new school year?
So we've had some ongoing conversations with Ryan McMahon and with Ann Rooney from the Onondaga County Executive's Office, really trying to offer up some level of reassurance and perhaps even lower the anxiety that there aren't necessarily kids and or adults in our buildings walking around that may be asymptomatic, because our nurses and our parents, our families will do a nice job, I believe, in really doing the health screening of all of our kids. And I'm certainly hoping our staff can self-assess themselves if they have symptoms. But when these folks come into our buildings, our expectation is that they're all going to be symptom-free, but that testing on the 10th of September will give us one more level of assurance that people can at least be reassured that there aren't necessarily folks in their company or in their nearby area of the buildings that really is a positive case.
All right, and parents need to be reassured too. What are some of the concerns that parents have been raising in the last week or two about, going back to school, sending their kids back to the classroom?
So I think the biggest question we're hearing from a lot of parents is the fact that they want to know what a classroom looks like. Are kids going to be maintaining the space and our teachers moving, or would kids be moving and teachers staying in the same rooms? We've done a couple different sessions with some video, as you can see here, on the school buses and in the classrooms, where we socially distanced folks as examples. I think parents are still curious if a student tests positive, or maybe I should rephrase it, if a student has alleged symptoms from someone in school, that do they need to get tested? And if they test negative, do they still stay out of school? Are they quarantined for 14 days? So there's still questions pertaining to what are the rules, if you will. A lot of questions about masks, mask breaks. What does that look like in our schools? How consistent are we going to be able to make this? And obviously we're hearing more stuff, from parents about what's lunches and recess and that kind of idea look like.
And I imagine you're hearing some questions about transportation too. There was a lot of talk, I think last time we chatted, about putting barriers on buses, extra staff to disinfect the buses between trips. What have you decided? What's being done to keep that bus trip safe for the kids and the drivers?
So in Liverpool, we have 3-tier busing. So we go the first tier is at the high school, second tier is a combination of our middle schools and some elementaries, and our third tier is all elementary. In between each of those bus runs, or those tiers, when they leave the school, whether it's a high school, middle school, or elementary school, there's a cleaning, disinfecting, fogging process that'll happen in between runs. We also are planning on doing, as we mentioned several times on Wednesdays, doing some deep cleaning, and that'll also include not only our classrooms, our school buildings, but our school buses themselves. We will plan on loading our buses from the back to the front, so when kids get on, they'll obviously work their way from the back seats to the front seats with one per seat. If families, members ride the bus, the family members could sit together, but generally speaking, we are limiting our buses to about 22 riders. So we're really kind of focusing in on the safety of both our staff and our students.
Yeah, safety, that's what it's all about. Mark Potter, we appreciate the update and your time. Thank you so much.